Welcome or welcome back to the show. I'm Anna, and you're watching Anna Speaks Out. Thanks for being here. Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to attempt to take you through some of the thought processes that I went through as an atheist turned agnostic, searching for who God was and what the ultimate truth of the universe and spirituality was. This was inspired by some content that I have been consuming lately, but let's start with a video that I made on February 2nd, 2022. And then when I was 16, almost 17, I met this guy, and once I was 17, we were like officially dating, and he ended up changing my mind about Christianity. He was actually very manipulative and abusive, but one of the things that he did initially was he just showed me all these documentaries and things about evolution, and just was constantly telling me how, it didn't make sense to believe in any God at all, and how evolution was a thing and all this stuff. And after, I don't know, maybe a few months or something of just constantly being exposed to that and not really being around Christians, I decided that I was going to be atheist. So that was weird. And then eventually, I think maybe around 2013, around that time, he showed me these documentaries about quantum physics. The one in particular that I thought was really interesting actually is called, I think, Through the Rabbit Hole. I thought it would be fun to show you guys the trailer. Here it is.
It's very mysterious.
It's a question that we don't have a good answer to.
Well, that is the ultimate question.
Now, that is tricky.
The more you look at quantum physics, the more mysterious and wondrous it becomes.
The question is, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go?
All of this really is just a great illusion.
Are people affecting the world of reality that they see? You betcha they are.
What is reality?
What is reality?
Have you ever thought about what thoughts are made of?
It is so mysterious they can't explain it.
The real trick to life is not to be in the know, but be in the mystery. Ponder that for a while.
And it talked about the idea of a singularity and how basically everything in the universe could be traced back to like a singular starting point. And the more I thought about that and how they were saying everything is just like comes from the same source, and everything kind of boils down to energy and all that stuff, I was like, so what is that? Like what is that source, I guess? I felt like there had to be something behind that. Like, how was that just there on its own, and it was just really interesting and intriguing to me. And then I've been binge watching this channel that I'm about to show you an excerpt from. And when I heard this part, I was just thinking like, wow, that is basically the thought process that I had all the time for a while after I watched that documentary or, whatever other scientific productions about physics. And I realized like, wow, like basically everything is kind of nothing, and it's bizarre.
There is something unreal about all of this. The sound comes through in waves, frequency.
I think that God, as a higher being, always was, and is the source of that energy that is everything. The Bible says that He spoke everything into existence.
In the beginning was the Word. Then God said, "Let there be light."
And it's interesting to me that speaking is the vibration of vocal cords.
Phonation is the production of sound by structures in the upper respiratory tract. During exhalation, air passes from the lungs through the larynx. Muscles in the larynx can act to move the arytenoid cartilages that then move the cords. The cords are pushed together, and air passes between them in such a way as to make them vibrate, creating sound.
And everything boils down to energy at different vibrational frequencies, basically.
screen flickers in pixels. There's so many infinitesimal pixels now that you cannot even see them. But zoom into any solid object, even something really solid like a natural diamond. I mean, really zoom in until you see the electrons with your eyes, and you realize that the solid object is just about pure empty space. It's because there's actually nothing there. There can't be. It's just an energy field, like a hologram.
We just don't know for sure what happens at a singularity, and probably never will.
You say a singularity. What exactly do you mean by that?
A point there where the density becomes infinite, and so the curvature of space-time becomes infinite. So you have a place where the equations run away and they go to infinity, and you say, well, something's gone wrong. You can't continue the equations of Einstein, and they get stuck.
Right.
So the place where they go infinite, or what in detail happens, the theorems don't tell you. They just say that something goes wrong, and that's what we call a singularity.
I want you to picture a dot. This dot doesn't look like much, but it completely shatters our understanding of everything, where the known and the unknown converge into a single, unfathomable point, and the fabric of reality itself unravels. A singularity can be placed in space, it can be placed in time, it can be infinite, everything, and paradoxically, nothing at all. Because in the beginning, there was nothing.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep.
The entire universe we know today was packed into a single point that was both infinitely small, dense, and hot, and then it exploded.
And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it.
If you try to see the electron, your very conscious observation will make the electron take a finite location for you. The electrons have their own kind of fake selfie smile. This is the collapse of the wave function. The simulation is rendering for you in real time.
That made me think of the classic quantum physics double slit experiment.
Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. Physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of 2 bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. It was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter?
And then this last part, I'm not entirely sure what to make of, but I'm very curious to hear what anybody else has to say, so please leave your thoughts in the comments.
The NPCs don't want to know this. The princess in Super Mario Bros. Doesn't know she is made out of code, algorithms, and pixels of pure light on a flat plane called a screen. It's not in her scope to think about such things. If she did, thinking would be dangerous to the program.
Thank you again so much for being here today. Since you liked the video enough to make it all the way to the end, don't forget to click the thumbs up and share it with somebody else. If you'd like to interact more than just in the comments here, you can follow me on Instagram at AnnaSpeaksOut17 and also on Facebook where my username is Anna Charity. Thank you again so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.